Back at Arrowhead Stadium, getting set for the Colts and the Chiefs. A sunny but chilly day here in the Midwest. The two head coaches, Bruce Arians, who has done just a remarkable job filling in for Chuck Pagano as the Colts interim head coach. He'll go back to running the Indianapolis offense with Chuck cleared to come back tomorrow. But there are those who feel that he certainly has earned a hard look for Coach of the Year honors despite that interim title. And on the other sideline, Romeo Crennel, 4-13 since taking over as head coach of the Chiefs, just trying to find a way to win another game here in the final 2 weeks of the regular season. Colts won the toss. They're going to receive and will have the football to start. J.G. Kareem signed December 11th. Former Jacksonville Jaguars back deep. Waiting the kickoff from Ryan Suckup. 19th regular season meeting between the Chiefs and the Colts. The Chiefs won the last meeting, but the Colts have won 7 of the last 9. Kareem will bring it out from 4 yards deep. Finds some running room out to about the 20-yard line. Andrew Luck has had one of the greatest rookie seasons in NFL history. Came in today needing 74 yards to pass Cam Newton for the most yards by a rookie. 22 yards away from becoming just the second rookie behind Newton to throw for 4,000 yards. He's led the Colts in 6 come-from-behind victories. 1st and 10 for Indianapolis. Just underway here in Kansas City. A win for the Colts, and they are in the playoffs. Vic Ballard wrapped up after a 2-yard gain. Indianapolis up front. The Colts have used 6 different starting combinations this season, but Anthony Costanzo has been healthy, has been solid at left tackle. The backs and receivers, Vic Ballard, the rookie out of Mississippi State, coming off 2 outstanding games back-to-back. 100-yard game last week against Houston, the Colts' first 100-yard rushing performance of the season. 2nd and 8, Luck will throw under pressure, gets rid of it to Dwayne Allen, the rookie tight end who has really emerged here this season. Eric Berry made the stop. Colts said this week the Kansas City defense is better than that record would indicate. Poe has played well up front, their #1 pick, the rookie. Protection has been a problem for the Colts. The Chiefs have 2 of the best pass rushers in the league in Tamba Hali and Justin Houston. The secondary's been banged up. Eric Berry is a good young safety, but they could be tested today against Andrew Luck, Reggie Wayne, in this Colts passing attack. 3rd and 3 for Indianapolis. 5 receivers in the pattern. Avery upended, hangs on to the football, but came up just short. Eric Berry closed in a hurry.
Well, this is exactly what the Chiefs needed, a 3-and-out to begin the game, and a pretty good throw on 2nd down by Luck to get them close. But the Chiefs, they spoke about how difficult it is to cover that bunch set that the Colts like to use. They did an outstanding job as Flowers came through to get in on that stop. What a great job by the Chiefs defense on the opening drive.
Devin Wiley is back deep. Leading the punt from McAfee. Came in averaging almost 49 yards a punt. Just got that one away. Angled to the sideline, and a great effort. Brady Quinn making his 5th straight start since replacing Matt Castle. Suffered bruised ribs in the game last week against the Raiders. He was sacked 4 times. 18 of 32 for 136 yards and an interception a week ago. 930 yards on the season, 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
And the Chiefs so riddled with injuries. Tony Moeaki to miss this game. Trying to patch together all those people around Quinn to give themselves an opportunity. Of course, we mentioned Jamal Charles in the open, but once again, the Chiefs, if they can get anything done in the passing game at all, it'll be gravy for an offense that's really struggled in that department.
That was a 60-yard punt, so the Chiefs will take over from their own 11-yard line. Jamal Charles, left side. Chiefs have had to make multiple adjustments up front. Donald Stevenson is the rookie starting again at left tackle. He'll have his work cut out for him against this active Colts front 7. Backs and receivers, the Chiefs missing the production of Dwayne Bowe. That puts even more pressure on Jamal Charles and this Kansas City running game. 2nd and 8. Opening possession for the Chiefs. Quinn with time. That's a first down. Devin Wiley, the rookie out of Fresno State.
Well, Wiley's going to be up here. He's going to just come right underneath Dexter McCluster. Wiley, who's struggled with hamstring injuries this season, a real quick, explosive young wide receiver, able to catch that ball. Wiley gives them something they haven't had, a compliment to Dexter McCluster. They're the same type of player, and to get them both on the field at the same time is going to help.
For 17 yards and a first down, they go back to the ground. Tough running inside for Jamal Charles. Here's that Colts defense. Corey Redding came over from Baltimore. He's been a leader up front, on and off the field, as the Colts Man of the Year. The linebackers, Pat Anger starts again on the inside with Cavell Connor still out with a hamstring. And in the secondary, Tom Zbikowski is still out, not quite ready to come back. So once again, Joe LaFage starts at strong safety. 2nd and 8 for Kansas City. Charles trying to get to the edge. He picks up 2 or 3. Vontae Davis made the stop.
Yeah, there you see Jarrell Freeman, a great story. Look at his hand, his left hand. He's got a broken thumb that he's playing with. You see there, they've got it wrapped up, and it's legal to have a hard shell around the hand, but on the outside of the shell you have to put foam padding, as the rule states. He's got tape over the top of that.
He had surgery on it on Monday, something you're familiar with, Steve. You have 9 broken hand?
Yeah, well, 2 hands that were broken 9 times.
Okay, very good. And movement, flags before the snap.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Ron Winter, our referee today.
Well, young Donald Stevenson, he started 3 of the last 4 games, as you said, for Brandon Albert, who's got a back injury. And you know, it's just one thing after another. And these teams, like the Chiefs and like Jacksonville, any team that struggled to win games during the season, the first thing you can point to almost universally is the injuries that happen. Stevenson, though, doing a nice job in the past month, getting some valuable time at left tackle, the most important position on the offensive line as a rookie, and he's learning the ropes the hard way.
So 3rd and long, and this is what Kansas City faced all last week. And that's intercepted. Darius Butler scoops it up and runs into the end zone on the pass intended for Dexter McCluster.
Well, we spoke to Romeo Crennel. He said 3 things have hurt the Chiefs this season. Turnovers, which you just saw, and untimely penalties, which you just saw. The 2 of the 3 things that he said just happened. You'll watch here. Quinn is going to get hit in the pocket just as he releases this ball right in his face and throws it right in the dirt behind McCluster. It's a bad throw. Completely inaccurate. McCluster doesn't even expect it. Butler, it's room service right at the top of his shoes. He just picks it up and walks into the end zone. And that is a capsule of the Kansas City Chiefs offense this season.
32 yards on the interception return for a touchdown. Did a good job keeping the ball from hitting the turf. Takeaways have not been a big part of the Indianapolis defense this season. Just the 11th turnover by the Colts defense.
Yeah, but that ball did not hit the ground. There's a little delay as the replay booth takes a look at it, and you can see right there, it never hits the ground. And that's a great play by Butler to be heads up. So many times guys drop those because it's so unexpected to throw like that, and believe me, that was a bad throw.
4th interception of the season for Butler, who played for New England and Carolina. Had a big interception a couple of weeks ago to set up the winning field goal against Tennessee, and a big play here. Adam Vinatieri on to try the extra point. Give the Colts a 7-0 lead. Got it. And so Indianapolis with 10:08 left to go in the first. Strikes first. 7-0 Colts. Fourth interception return for a touchdown this season by the Colts. Tying the most in franchise history. Wiley, 5 yards deep, and will take a knee. And Steve, let's take another look at the interception and touchdown.
One thing about the Colts defense, they always rush 5, and the problem is you've got to sort through those 5 guys out of those 6 to figure out which 5 are coming. Now, Freeman's going to drop out, but as McCluster comes out and clears the coverage, Butler just steps in. That ball had to be way out by the sidelines, and Quinn threw it behind McCluster inside the numbers, which is a complete mistake.
That's the 4th pick 6 that the Chiefs have suffered this season. So Kansas City in an early hole here with 10:08 left to go in the first, trailing 7-0. Quinn, pocket collapses and incomplete.
Yeah, and you'll see that, and that's a common theme when you play against the Indianapolis Colts. The Houston Texans did a nice job of it last week. Right here, they rush 4 guys, but the ball still has to come out on time. And as Quinn looks to his first option, he doesn't have time to come back to the backside of the formation and release that football before he's got pressure.
They have not led very often this season. Second and 10. Quinn over the middle, caught by Baldwin. And the Chiefs answer with a big play on offense. Joe LaFage finally brought him down.
That starts with a nice play-action pass. You know that the run game is so important to the Chiefs. Just a quick slant. Baldwin, who is a very big guy, and of course they get a defender falling down for the Colts as Vaughn hits the dirt as Baldwin comes out of his break, leaves him wide open, and it turns into a foot race.
57 yards on the catch and run. The Chiefs are up in a hurry. Charles. And we have a marker down after some tough contact out of bounds. Vontae Davis in the collision with Jamal Charles.
Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Jeff Allen, the left guard. And again, this is the story, part of the story of the season for the Kansas City Chiefs. On the verge of success, and now they move them back.
Right here's the hole. And as Charles comes out, you see the great contact, and he breaks right out. There's the hold right there as Charles going to break right off it. And just as Guy tries to move out, I don't know, that seems like a ticky-tack call to me. As Guy tried to get out of that block, that looked like a pretty good job by Jeff Allen.
Sean Drone is checked in. Chiefs will operate from the shotgun. 1st and 20. Quinn with time, going deep, incomplete out of the end zone. Baldwin was the intended receiver. The last time the Chiefs scored was the first play from scrimmage in Week 14 against Cleveland. Jamal Charles, an 80-yard touchdown run, but since then the Chiefs have been held scoreless for 7 straight quarters entering today.
Shut out completely last week in Oakland.
Just a horrendous day on offense last week. They had just 10 yards rushing, 119 yards in total offense. They went 3 and out the first 7 times they had the football. 2nd and 20. Again going deep. Baldwin once again the intended receiver, and he was well covered.
Yeah, and once again Brady Quinn picking himself up off the turf. As Baldwin goes up, you can see there, Baldwin is a big guy, listed at 6'4". A first-round draft pick last year, really has struggled to match his physical ability with an elite receiver skill set.
And obviously with Dwayne Bowe done for the season, and perhaps as a Kansas City Chief, as a franchise player this year. Don't know about his future here in Kansas City, but Chiefs feel they need Baldwin to step up. The delay to Drone. Pushed out of bounds just inside the 30.
And the fans here don't like the conservative play call. Romeo Crennel, talked to him Friday. He said, you know, listen, if you're in a 3rd and long, there's not too many playbooks, and if you haven't been playing that well offensively, it really makes no sense to try a shot down the field and take yourself out of the only chance you have to score points, which in this case is going to be a 47-yard field goal.
And Suckup, 25 of 29 in field goal tries this season. It's long this year, 52. His career long 54. This from 47 yards away to put the Chiefs on the board. And he does. Kansas City with the field goal. It's 7-3 Colts. Chilly late December day here at Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs are on the board. They outscored in their last two games by a combined 45-7. Green awaits the kick, line drive kick, brings it out. And a nice return for Deji Kareem. Out across the 30, Andrew Luck and the Colts back to work when we return. Kansas City, and let's take a look at today's task force.
Well, we've talked about a lot of the good things that Andrew Luck does, and in this case, look, as he steps to his left and then throws to his right, that's one of the things that a young player will do mechanically wrong. And as physically wrong as that throw was, where he steps one way and throws the other, it's more about a mental process. He looked one way and got in a hurry to throw the other and didn't take his time and lost his poise for a minute. Physically, it was a mistake, but it started with a poor decision process.
Second possession for the Colts after going 3 and out on their first drive. Ballard loses the football. And the Colts retain possession.
That is the great unpreparable sin. Both clubs, you can't prepare for turnovers. You can hang on to the football, you can say you're not going to turn it over, but when a player puts a good hit on another and gets a good leverage on the ball, as you see there, Patuatoa gets his arm on it, rips it out. The ball bounces funny. You can't predict where it's going to go, and those are the things that win and lose games.
Toby Fleener was there to fall on it. 2nd and 4. Luck, deep drop. And that's caught by Reggie Wayne. Stopped just short of midfield. Derek Johnson made the stop after a gain of 11.
So much of this offense runs through Reggie Wayne as he comes out, runs a quick 12-yard curl, and you see how he comes back to Andrew Luck, knows the ball's going to be there. Luck, it was his first option, looked right at him, didn't come off him, and gunned it in the dead spot in the zone coverage.
They spotted right at the 50-yard line. Colts going up tempo. Ballard. And he was popped. Ballard has become the workhorse in the Colts running game, averaging 99.5 yards for Indianapolis the last 2 weeks. Tough and physical. He told us he really likes running between the tackles.
Yeah, it says what he's best at. And we talked to him at length yesterday, and he said the toughest thing about it was coming to this level was the pass protection. It's so mental, and you have to be just right on every play, and that's how you get on the field as a young player.
2nd and 11. Play action. Luck on the move, being chased. And slides down back at the 50. Brandon Seiler was in pursuit. And let's check in New York for an update with JB and Shannon.
Packers have already clinched the North, but Shannon, what Aaron Rodgers does so well on the design QB draw, up the middle, 6-yard TD run. Pack in front early, 7-0 over the Titans.
Pack trying to keep the momentum going. They won 8 of the last 9. Bill McAtee, Steve Tasker.
All right, guys, thank you. A lot of meaningful games around the National Football League here in Week 16 with playoff implications. This is one of them. A win and the Colts are in. Avery in motion. 3 receivers to the lower part of your screen on 3rd and 11. Luck finally brought down. Tamba Hali with his 9th sack of the season.
The Colts start with a bunch formation to Luck's right, and it's hard because it forces usually the Chiefs to zone off, and I think that's what the Colts expected. But what happens, the Chief crossed the Colts up and goes man-to-man. Even though they're in a bunch formation, the Chiefs stay off the routes and sit down on him, and Luck has nowhere to throw to. Great defensive call by Greg Minuski to go man coverage against that bunch formation.
So we'll see the punting unit. on 4th down. That was almost blocked. Riley with a nice move. And a nice return out to the 22-yard line. And that is where the Kansas City Chiefs will go back to work on offense after a 45-yard punt.
First and 10, Kansas City from the Chiefs' 22-yard line.
First and 10 for the Chiefs. From their own 22-yard line, Peyton Hillis has checked in.
180.
Lone setback. Then will throw on 1st down again. Trying to go deep and incomplete. And once again, had John Baldwin in his sights. Cassius Vaughn had the coverage.
The crowd wants pass interference. They're not going to get it. One bump right there. Then as Vaughn turns around, everything's up for grabs, and I think Baldwin's got a hold of Vaughn just as well. Hand fighting. They're not going to call that. That was with both players looking for the football. All bets are off on pass interference as long as they both try to play the football, and that ball was uncatchable to begin with. Brady Quinn really having a hard time giving his receivers a chance to get their hands on the ball.
Baldwin held without a catch last week against Oakland. Has had a big play already today. The 57-yarder that resulted in 3 points for the Kansas City Chiefs. Hillis stays in the game on 2nd and 10. Hillis to the edge. And a 1st down for Kansas City. A nice pickup. Antoine Bethea made the stop after a 1st down for the Chiefs.
Well, you're going to see Hillis come right here out behind. They're going to set the edge of the defense right here and come down and block down. In fact, Ricardo Matthews was slow getting up after that block as Hillis turns up inside, gets a great block out there by Newsom.
16-yard gain. Hillis again. How close to the 40. Well, thought your fantasy season was over. It's not. NFL Playoff Challenge is back and better than ever. You could win a trip to Super Bowl 48 in 2014. Play today at NFL.com/fantasy. Jamal Charles has checked back in. 2nd and 8. Colts lead at 7-3. Win. Another 1st down. Dexter McCluster into Colts territory. McCluster, the Chiefs' 2nd leading receiver, behind Dwayne Bowe. 48 catches for 417 yards through week 15 and wide open there.
Yeah, then they gave him a big cushion. Vaughn not playing bump and run on McCluster. They're perfectly willing to do that on Baldwin, a big guy who's not so quick and explosive. But when you get a guy like McCluster, you kind of want to give him a cushion so he doesn't go past you.
Career high 7 catches last week. Charles close to the 45. Jarrell Freeman made the stop, as Steve mentioned, playing with a broken thumb on his left hand. Surgery on it on Monday. But Freeman, really one of the great stories in the Colts this season. Went to the same high school as LaDainian Tomlinson in Waco, Texas. Quick hitter. That's Hillis. And that's close to another 1st down.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him the 1st down yardage, and Hillis is not happy. He looked like he tripped over the 40-yard line. He went through a very well-blocked hole. As he comes through, he looks like somebody just chopped his leg off right there. Just got caught, and that's so frustrating as you get all the big guys up front, blocking at the 2nd level, doing such a good job, and the running back just gets his shoelace touched and goes down.
Chiefs offense finding a rhythm here. Play action. Charles with a nice catch. Able to tip it to himself, makes the grab and goes out of bounds at the 35.
So much of this offense of the Kansas City Chiefs is centered around their quarterback. When Matt Castle was the quarterback, he turned it over, took a lot of sacks. Brady Quinn was in for a while, then he went out with a concussion. Neither quarterback has been consistently productive, and that's where the problems have started.
Peyton Hillis with another nice game. And another 1st down for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs putting together a pretty good-looking drive. That was good for 9 yards.
Yeah, and they're doing it with the run game predominantly, and that's a surprise because, you know, if you watch the Chiefs at all this season and prepare for this. They are a run-first team. If they cannot run it, their offense flounders, and I'm surprised the Colts are getting caught off guard with this running game of the Chiefs.
Harris back in. Forward progress down around the 25.
I spoke to Brady Quinn on Friday, and he said, well, I said, do you expect him to stack the box and take the run? He goes, that's what I would do. He goes, that's what the Oakland Raiders did for them last week. They put 8, 9 guys in around the football in the offensive line and just really dared the Kansas City Chiefs to put the ball in the air, and it worked to perfection. Here, the Colts don't seem to be willing to do that. They're coming out with a nickel package, 4 defensive backs, sometimes 5 defensive backs.
Play action. Win. Maneri, the tight end, was at the goal line, but just out of his reach. Maneri started today at tight end with Tony Moriarty suffering a head injury last week.
And Maneri, the converted offensive lineman,
used primarily as a blocking tight end, came in with just 5 catches for 51 yards.
And when your roster starts to get riddled by injuries, guys at the end of the season find themselves playing roles they never anticipated. Maneri, one of those guys.
11th play of the drive upcoming. 3rd and 8 for Kansas City. And that's caught by Wiley. The incomplete. It bounced out. Hey, that was a nice break on the ball by Vontae Davis.
And he got both hands on the football, but Davis comes in just at the right at the moment, and Wiley gets hands on it just as he does. Davis comes in and knocks his left arm off the grip of the football and it forces the incompletion. That is a pass defense for Vontae Davis. Well played.
So the Chiefs will be forced to settle for a field goal try. This from 43 yards out for Ryan Suckup. And misses it to the right. So no points for the Kansas City Chiefs after an 11-play drive. It remains 7-3 Indianapolis. Colts, they take over at their own 33-yard line. Luck, lots of time, and goes underneath to Donnie Avery, who slips down at the 37-yard line. Well, the Colts can make this simple by clinching a playoff spot with a win today, or a little more complicated. Steve, would you like to handle that third one?
They could clinch the strength of victory tiebreaker versus Cincinnati. That could occur today with wins by Tennessee. Yeah, forget all that.
Lots of stuff has to happen.
Yeah, that gives you a headache. They got to win to get in.
They control their own destiny. Ballard. Tough running. Chiefs closed in a hurry. Tyson Jackson led the charge. That's the end of the first quarter, and we'll return to Kansas City after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. Has now gone over 4,000 yards here in his rookie season, 51 yards shy of Cam Newton's rookie record. Colts facing 3rd and 5. They lead at 7-3. They scored on an interception return for a touchdown. Luck to Avery, who makes the catch. A nice adjustment by Donnie Avery, and he makes the catch down at the 33-yard line. And Andrew Luck had all kinds of time.
Well, he has all kinds of time because he bought it himself. He steps up. Offensive line really does a nice job. But you see here as it breaks down, his mental clock goes off and that alarm goes. He knows he has to either get out of there or make something happen. He throws this really up for grabs. Just make sure he gets it over Flowers' head. And Avery makes a dynamic adjustment to the ball in the sunshine to catch it.
28 yards on the completion. Ballard lowers his shoulder and gets down just inside the 30.
When you talk about this Colt offense, one thing they've done is break off big chunks of yardage. They've done it all year. A lot of it, of course, is Andrew Luck in that passing game. Some of it's been in the running game, but man, this wide receiver core has really come through for him time and again.
Coming in this week, Andrew Luck had produced 59 completions of 20 yards or more, the most in the league. 2nd and 7. Play action. Luck. Reggie Wayne dove for it, but could not bring it in. And once again, let's check in with JB and Shannon in New York for an update on Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Steelers need to win to stay alive. Yeah, JB, I know it's almost Christmas and Ben is a generous guy, but this is not what he had in mind. Leon Hall, 17-yard INT return, 7-0 Bengals over the Steelers.
Cincy win, and they're in the postseason. Bill and Steve.
All right, guys, thank you very much. 3rd and 7 facing the Colts. If they win today, they're in the postseason. Luck. And hit just as he released the football, and that was nearly picked off by Kendrick Lewis.
And once again, Luck stepping up into the pocket. The pressure's going to get to him very late. This is one of the things that has really been a benefit to the Colts and also at times has been their demise. You see there, he tries to get rid of it, and it almost ends up in a turnover. Andrew Luck really, and Brandon Flowers told me on Friday, one thing I noticed about him, he's not afraid to throw the football, and you see there it almost did him in. It's been a plus and a negative.
He's in the grass with Justin Houston. Vinatieri on to try the field goal, and that is good. So 10-3 Indianapolis here early in the second. 10-3 Colts after the 48-yard Vinatieri field goal. The Colts have won 7 of their last 9. They had a 3-game winning streak snapped on the road last week at Houston. McAfee kicks it away. Wiley brings it out. To the 20. Well, for complete pro football coverage, including everything you need to know from this weekend's matchups all the way through Super Bowl 47, visit cbssports.com/NFL. And there's an injured Chief down on the field. That's Terrence Copper. So timeout on the field here in Kansas City. Back at Arrowhead, Terrence Copper still being attended to.
He's back on his feet, but if you look back at this replay, this will give you an idea of how the velocity these guys move with. They've started to make a move towards right here. And you'll see right up there, it comes in off the back, and he doesn't have any idea it's coming. And certainly Mario Harvey, the Indianapolis Colt, doesn't know either. And you see the velocity, and that's football. It's not the best part of football, but it certainly happens. And Terrence Copper, who's been an outstanding special teams player for a lot of years for the Kansas City Chiefs, gets sprinkled in at wide receiver. But that's the kind of thing that really has moved the league towards saying, you know what, we should think of something else to do instead of kicking the ball off. And you know, I did it for a lot of years, and I'll raise my hand in favor of doing something else. As fun as it was.
So 1st and 10, Charles gets to the edge. Jamal Charles with a nice pickup. And another big play, and he has had such a terrific season. Cassius Vaughn pushed him out of bounds. He came in as the AFC's second leading rusher with 1,230 yards, averaging almost 88 yards a game and close to 5 yards a carry.
Well, DeMarco, the fullback, gives him a nice lead block to get to the edge, but the thing that the Chiefs do so well that Charles does, he runs up inside the tackle and bounces it out. Baldwin on the outside, an enormous wide receiver, gets a push down the field, turns it into an even bigger play. That run game of the Chiefs, when they get it rolling, man, it is really special.
He'll go to the sideline. Peyton Hillis has checked in. And we have movement before the snap.
That's Jerry Hughes. This is going to be on the defense, I think.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 92. Movement into the neutral zone. Caused the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty. remains first down.
Jerry Hughes. Meanwhile, the Kansas City offense has been productive despite just 3 points.
Yeah, and you see the big play they had to Baldwin, and then Hillis. This is one of a couple of nice runs he had. Of course, Charles has been spectacular in the run game and in the pass game, as you saw there. The Chiefs finding a little bit of a rhythm.
Charles. Ball pops loose, but they're going to say he was down.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. The official was right on it.
Spotted at about the 45-yard line after a gain of 7.
You'll see he's going to be down right there. He comes down, and then the ground actually causes the fumble anyway. The official there, Gary Arthur, the line judge, came in right on it. Easy call, right on it. And it's smart for the official to call it quits, because once you don't blow that whistle, anything can happen. And especially with a loose ball, players will get injured on a play that won't count.
Hillis, the deep back. Play action. Wynn takes off. And the hook slides at about the 43.
Quinn dropping back, having to step away from his left tackle, Don Stevenson, who was getting pushed right back into his lap. Quinn rolling out to his right, trying to buy some time. Nobody opened down the field. The Colts actually in coverage that time, as they got the good pass rush with just 4 rushers. Quinn with nowhere to throw the football.
Pull them off! Pull them off! Pull them
Second
off!
and 8.
Anyone's fine, go by! Almost it!
Charles banged around. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's the Jamal Charles, Steve. You think of as a guy who's more of a flashy runner, but he can put a foot in the ground and go north and south in a hurry. And he can be physical if he needs to be.
Absolutely. He's a really all-around back. We've equated him with Chris Johnson, who is such a home run hitter for the Tennessee Titans, one of those exciting backs. I think in a lot of ways, and we've said this before when we've done the Chiefs, he's better because he'll get more 6- and 8-yard runs, and he'll still hit the home run and snap one off for 80 yards as well. So I think he's a better all-around back.
First come on the blitz. Quinn had to get rid of it in a hurry.
Yeah, this play was made right on Quinn, right in the pocket, as he had Foku right on him as he tried to get rid of this football. He can't hold on to it any longer, and Charles, because of Bethea on him, just can't get out ahead of the pass. Quinn has to put it out where he thinks Charles is going to be, and Bethea at the other end of the pass makes Charles adjust his route, and both ends of that pass by the Colt defense were defended extremely well, even though nobody got a touch on the football.
T.Y. Hilton awaits the punt, which goes into the end zone for a touchback. 42-yard punt. Andrew Luck and the Colts offense takes the field. 10:34 left to go in the half. Colts take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. Offset eye, Ballard the deep back. Play action. Dwayne Allen was the Mackey Award winner to cap an outstanding career at Clemson, the Colts' 4th leading receiver. 482 yards in receptions, caught his 3rd touchdown pass of the season last week against Houston. Colts up quickly. Number 25, Ballard tries to fight his way for a couple of extra yards. Gets out to the 27-yard line, and we've talked about the rookies and how valuable they've been for the Colts beyond Andrew Luck, who's the obvious one. Ballard, Hilton, Fleener, and Allen, they are set at tight end for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, those two guys. Kobe Fleener got off to a really fast start, and people were equating him with Gronkowski in New England, but now Dwayne Allen, when Fleener went out with an injury, Dwayne Allen stepped in, has been equally productive. So those two young players have complemented Andrew Luck along with those wide receivers and Ballard, the running back. It's been a real gold mine of youth for the Colts.
3rd down, and that is caught. Again, Dwayne Allen, and a 1st down for Indianapolis. That was good for 7 yards.
It's really been amazing to look down the roster and watch as the Colts have really played consistent offensive football with so many young players contributing in large ways. You talk about T.Y. Hilton, Andrew Luck, Vic Ballard, Dwayne Allen. 43 receptions by that guy, and that is the franchise record.
And Andrew Luck 10 yards away from Cam Newton's rookie passing mark. First and 10 for Indianapolis. Luck flush from the pocket. Finally throws it away.
And that's an aware play by Luck. Being chased out of the pocket. It looked like he was going to try and turn the corner and maybe make it back to the line of scrimmage, but then he just decided to throw it in the dirt. And we spoke to him last night, and he said, you know, we asked him how it has changed from week 1 to week now 15 or 16. And he said, you know, I just stopped trying to hit home runs on every play. And I take what he's given me, and I kind of get ready to line up on the next down. And I think that is a good example of that play right there.
They'll go from the gun on 2nd and 10. Colts lead at 10-3. Ballard on the delay. And fights his way close to a first down. And let's check in once again in New York for an update with JB and Shannon.
Dallas with some momentum.
Des Bryant says, just in case you missed my first 58-yard touchdown, JB, I got another one for you. 58 yards to the house. 12 touchdowns on the season, 7th consecutive game, 14-7, Cowboy.
All right, back to Bill and Steve.
All right, guys, thank you. On first down, they give it to Vic Ballard. Fights for some tough yards, close to midfield.
He got a first down that last carry on 3rd and long.
Cowboys trying to win their 4th in a row. They've gotten right back in it, tied for the lead in that wild NFC East at 8-6. 2nd and 7 for Indianapolis here in Kansas City. They lead 10-3. A win, and the Colts are in the postseason. Ballard again. Into Kansas City territory. Derek Johnson made the stop, the Chiefs' leading tackler. Came in right near 100 on the season. That was good for 4 yards by Ballard. 9 carries for Ballard for 30 yards.
That brings the Colts to a place where the Chiefs have had trouble. Colts at 3rd and 3 a lot. They're at 3rd and 3 or less. 3rd and 5 certainly is a long yardage for the Colts. The Chiefs offense has been in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. There's the difference in why the Colts can stay on the football field and make first downs.
The Colts have struggled a bit on 3rd down over the last few weeks. They're able to convert that one. Donnie Avery flashing across the middle. And it will really depend on the spot, but they will give it to them, and that will move the chains. Javier Arenas made the stop.
And this is a methodical drive by the Colts as they go no huddle right here and step up to the line very quickly as the Chiefs try and make wholesale changes on their line. And they quick snap it.
Ballard brought down hard after a gain of 2.
You can't say enough about the job that the Colts have done, and most in particular, Bruce Arians. You can consider a guy who's the offensive coordinator. He's kind of got his head down. These assistant coaches, I mean, they go in dark rooms, watch film, and they draw X's and O's. All of a sudden, he gets dumped the head coaching responsibilities into his lap, and a team with a rookie quarterback starting 3 or 4 rookies offensively, and all of a sudden, they're headed to the playoffs. What a story it's been.
Colts with 2 first downs in their first 3 drives already, with 3 on this drive. Luck floats it out of bounds. Tyson Jackson applying the pressure.
This is a coverage throwaway right here. You see the Chiefs once again go man-to-man. And that's something that is really difficult to do. As I said earlier, when the Colts bunch those guys up, all those receivers together, it's really difficult for guys to work through the traffic to stay with guys. So what the Chiefs are doing is backing off that bunch formation and letting the receivers release and then picking them up man-to-man after they've already done all that crisscrossing.
3rd and 8 for Indianapolis. Luck, the sideline, and incomplete. Levon Brazil, the intended receiver, he was locked up with Brandon Flowers. So that'll bring up 4th and 8.
Brazil going down the sideline. Flowers, who does a nice job, is a really difficult corner to get open on, plays extremely well. Keeps the receiver behind him And it really takes a perfect throw to throw that back shoulder throw, and Andrew Luck just kind of threw that one a little high and away. Couldn't complete it.
So the drive stalls. McAfee. His punt sails into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20, 42-yard punt. 10-3 Indianapolis. Chiefs with 169 total yards versus 95 for Indianapolis. Look at what they've done so far. The game's only touchdown, that interception return by Darius Butler. 10-3 Indianapolis, 5:27 left to go in the half. Jamal Charles out wide. Bottom of your screen. Colts showing blitz. They rush 4. Quinn finally takes off. And a nice bit of scrambling. Well, tomorrow it's Christmas Eve, and two broke girls are unwrapping their special brand of holiday cheer. Celebrate the holiday with two broke girls. That's tomorrow, only CBS.
That play that Brady Quinn made just a moment ago is exactly what the Chiefs need. Get them to 2nd and 2, which opens up their running game and also allow them, if they prefer, to take a shot down the field.
Peyton Hillis able to bounce it to the outside and get the edge, and a nice pickup and a first down for Kansas City.
Chiefs have been really successful today, coming up inside, then bouncing, and you watch the path that Hillis takes. Then he'll move outside around the corner. This draws the defense in right there, and then he'll bounce to the edge. The offensive lineman doing a great job holding the edge of the defense. The Colts can't get through the traffic to get to the edge, and Hillis turns the corner.
1st and 10 from the 42. Charles up the middle to the 45. Jamal Charles came in needing 238 yards to beat his career high of 1,467 yards, set in 2010.
That's the kind of play that Jamal Charles has in his playbook that other backs of his nature don't. He runs the ball hard right up inside. As you see there, he kind of has to come off and gather himself. But that's the kind of play that's designed for a much bigger, more physical running back. And Jamal Charles has made that play work for himself as well.
Underneath, Maneri. And fights his way down to the 41. Pat Anger made the stop, but we have a marker down.
Yeah, that looked like he stepped out of bounds well before that last spin around.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Donald Stevenson again, the left tackle.
And that all goes away. The great play and run, catch and run by Maneri.
Playing in place of Brandon Albert at left tackle.
Well, watch it. He has to keep his hands away from the face and mask of the opponent. And right there, he's up under the chin, and that's the penalty right there. You can't do that. And it negates a great effort by Steve Maneri.
So 2nd and 17 now.
Finish Mike, set. 180.
Quinn out to Hillis in the flat. And another flag is down. Back in the Kansas City backfield.
And this looks, the Chiefs are applauding, the offensive linemen of the Chiefs are applauding, which is
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense number 65. A 5-yard penalty and a first down.
Kellen Hurd, the defensive tackle, second-year man out of Memphis.
He was signed as an unrestricted free agent November 27th. He was actually played 8 games this season with St. Louis, and you see there right there. Now he's got his hands right up under Lilja's chin, and you can't do that on either side of the ball. Ryan Lilja trying to block him and getting his chin pushed up to the top of his head.
So a first down for Kansas City.
180.
From their own 40. Charles cuts back inside. and dives across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Anger made the stop, and coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 16. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. 6-yard pickup, so 2nd and 4 for Kansas City.
Getting it done on the ground there. 99 yards so far.
Hillis is back in the game, the deep back, and he gets it on 2nd down. A great penetration. Another flag comes in, and a loss on the play if it stands. Jerry Hughes made the stop.
This is going to be another hold on Kansas City.
Wasn't a very good one.
Holding. Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
And again, it's the rookie Stevenson out of Oklahoma, the 3rd-round pick.
You can point to the fact that the Colts have really good edge rushers. Jerry Hughes here, not a household name, but you put him with Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney, and it's a pretty good trio.
3rd penalty on Stevenson today. 2nd and 14 facing Kansas City as we near the 2-minute warning. Quinn able to get rid of it, goes underneath to Wiley, and his forward progress will take him to the 40. Anger made the stop as we have reached the 2-minute warning here in Kansas City. Chiefs 0 for 4 on 3rd down. You're facing 3rd and 10. 1:57 left to go in the half. Wiley in motion. Colts rush 4. Quinn, middle of the field, and that's caught. Wiley with a 1st down for Kansas City. Into Colts territory, down to the 44. A gain of 16 yards.
And Wiley is going to come from left to right across your skirt, out to the left part, right part of your screen. Lined up out there, went to the corner on the clear out route by Baldwin, made the catch. Out for 10 weeks of this season with injuries, hamstring injuries, and inactive. Finally getting a chance to play today, and has contributed a big way in the passing game.
180. Quinn up the sideline, and that is caught by Newsome. Jamar Newsome down to the 16-yard line. Got a step on Cassius Vaughn, and Brady Quinn laid it right in there.
Well, they've tried this throw a few times today, and this time Brady Quinn puts it right on the money. And Newsome does a nice job when he gets with Vaughn of giving Quinn room to fit the football in between him and the sideline. So many times the quarterback can't fit it in because the receiver's too close to the sidelines. Newsome was perfect on that route.
Catch of the year for Newsome. That was good for 28 yards. Ball pops out, and the Colts have a turnover. Joe LaFage came away with it.
Unbelievable for these Chiefs fans in this stadium. They've seen this so many times. Just when the Chiefs get a chance to make something happen, the unthinkable does happen.
Recovered by Joe LaFage. So the Colts will take over from their own 22-yard line.
Yeah, Angerer is going to slap this ball loose just as he gets into the line. No question. He was still up on his feet when the ball popped loose. Got a good handoff. Got caught with it in the right arm as he tried to break out to his left. It's the wrong arm to have that ball in. As Angerer just reaches out and bangs it out of his grasp onto the ground.
Weldy Moore in the backfield with luck. 5 yards away from the rookie passing record. Batted away, intended for Avery.
Yeah, Dontari Poe got a hand on that. He's had 3 passes defense on the coming into the day, and there's his 4th one right there.
2nd down and 10.
It's becoming so popular in the NFL and such a new, almost a new technique. Players have been doing it for years, but now everybody teaches those defensive linemen to get their hands up and take a shot at batting those passes down.
Dontari Poe, the 11th overall pick last April. Luck. And there's the rookie record. And appropriately thrown to another rookie, T.Y. Hilton. Kendrick Lewis made the stop.
T.Y. told me that it's getting to the point now for these two guys, they can talk about things other than just what's going on in the play. A lot of communication going on. It's paying off.
Colts take a timeout. First and 10 for Indianapolis after Luck sets the rookie throwing mark on the move and then gets rid of it to Mueldy Moore, who sprints up the sideline and out of bounds. Mueldy Moore brought back last week with injuries to Donald Brown and DeLon Carter. Played 4 seasons for Bruce Arians in Pittsburgh. Had a costly fumble last week against Houston in the red zone.
Yeah, we asked Bruce Arians about it. He said he's just a solid player. As you see there, Andrew Luck, 4,101 yards this season, the most ever by a rookie quarterback. Congratulations to him.
First and 10, 42 seconds left to go in the half. Colts are looking to extend their lead. Luck. Levon Brazil had gotten open, but Luck sails it out of the end zone.
That was an excited rookie throw right there from Andrew Luck. He may have set the record, but he's still a guy who gets excited when something snaps open like Brazil did right then. He came wide open. You look there at the number. That's a pretty impressive group right there. And there's no question that this league has evolved into a point where it's a throwing league with those 2 records being set in the last 2 years. Nobody had thrown into the history of the league for 4,000 yards as a rookie. Now 2 guys have done it in the last 2 years.
36 seconds left in the half. Luck from the gun. Incomplete. Reggie Wayne was the intended receiver, and there was tight coverage by Eric Berry. And don't forget, coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report.
You know, this situation with 31 seconds left and 2 timeouts, we said in the open how clutch Andrew Luck has been. These are the situations where every
steps up, now takes off, and stopped at the 18-yard line with a flag down. Studebaker made the tackle.
This may be pass interference. Luck was in the pocket, and there might have been some illegal contact or some holding. No, this may be against the Colts. I don't know, but it looked as though when Luck started to step up, he was trying to throw it to somebody who might have been held in the secondary.
There is no foul on the play. Result of the play.
So they'll pick up the flag.
They'll pick it up. That's the year's Luck. Looks like he's going to make something out of nothing. All of a sudden, he runs right smack into
Andy Studebaker brings him down. So we will see the field goal unit with Adam Vinatieri. It's gone over the 100-point mark for the 15th time in his career. The NFL record is 16, held by Jason Elam. This will be a 36-yard attempt. And puts it through. So 13-3 with 7 seconds left to go in the half. And Andrew Luck now with the greatest rookie season ever by a quarterback with that completion to T.Y. Hilton, who's had a pretty good year himself.
You know, we sat with Luck last night, and you know, you ask him, you know, have you taken a minute to think about what it all may mean? Not only the record season he's putting together, but also going to the playoffs as a rookie and doing all the things that it's always over the decades of this league has been so difficult for a young quarterback to do than a team that's trying to build. Even through the draft, it takes a long time. It's always taken a long time, particularly with a young quarterback. And yet, the Indianapolis Colts, after a 2-14 season a year ago, a brand new head coach, new offensive coordinator, they step up to the plate and are putting together an amazing season.
Colts trying to do something only 3 other teams have done in NFL history, and that's to go from winning just 2 games to coming back the next year and winning 10 or more. Colts trying for their 12th 10-win season in the last 14 years. Remarkable consistency in trying to make the playoffs for the 10th time in the last 11 years. Making the seamless transition from Manning to Luck. Ball does not go out of the end zone, so they have to take a knee. While he does that, they'll bring it out to the 20. 7 seconds left to go in the half.
The Chiefs not leading on the scoreboard, but offensively have put together pretty good numbers.
And it has been just a long season for the Kansas City Chiefs. 2-12 coming in. The Chiefs will wrap up the regular season next week at Denver. The Colts will finish up at home against Houston. Brady Quinn will take a knee, and that will be it for the first half. First half that saw the Kansas City offense move the football, but trail on the scoreboard 13-3. 245 total yards for Kansas City in the first half against 155 for Indianapolis, but the Colts lead where it counts on the scoreboard. The only touchdown, the interception return for a touchdown by the Colts.
And also, as always, when you're a struggling team, you leave points on the table, a missed field goal as well.
Back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. You're listening to a Pepsi anthem by Kelly Clarkson. Download this and other NFL-inspired anthems at PepsiAnthems.com. Back in Kansas City, 13-3. Indianapolis, neither offense, Steve Tasker, able to find the end zone. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, their offense didn't find their defense found the end zone, and they had to settle for 2 field goals. The Indianapolis offense, while it's been steady, has not been dominant very often this season, and they're not dominating today. The defense for the Kansas City Chiefs has been the strength of their team, no question about it, and the Colts are finding out why. They're really struggling in their passing game, getting enough momentum to get first downs and maintain it, particularly when they cross midfield. The Colts with only 155 yards total offense, 118 passing, only 37 yards rushing. But look at the Chiefs. They're putting it together, not only in the pass, but in the run. They've really stacked up some yards, but they haven't been able to get to the end zone. They have a missed field goal and a made field goal, and that's it.
Pat McAfee ready to kick it away. 2-point Indianapolis lead. They win, and they wrap up a spot in the postseason. Riley brings it out from a yard deep and upended short of the 15-yard line. Good special teams coverage by the Indianapolis Colts.
You look at what happened to the Kansas City Chiefs, it's all about inconsistency. Yeah, they put together some drives, put together a lot of yards, but this miscue leads to the only touchdown in the game. They drive down, settle for a field goal attempt, and it goes wide. Then Jamal Charles coughs it up when they're down tight, maybe threatening to score once again. So all of those things lead to a 13-3 deficit in a game where they've outgained the Colts offensively.
Jamal Charles, 10 carries for 48 yards. He gets the football to start the second half and has some running room. Jamal Charles cuts it back, and now it's a foot race. Jamal Charles, wow! 86 yards.
In a dark season when not much has gone right for the Kansas City Chiefs, Jamal Charles has proven he is a star.
for the touchdown.
Following Patrick DeMarco, gets to the sideline and cuts it back in. And this is the home run hitter that has shown up all season for the Kansas City Chiefs. The one guy, when everything was going wrong, the one guy they could depend on was Jamal Charles, and he proved it once again, coming out on the first play from scrimmage after the half.
And Ryan Suckup makes it a 3-point game, reminiscent of what Jamal Charles did on the first play from scrimmage 2 weeks ago against Cleveland when he went 80 yards. 86 yards for the touchdown, and the Chiefs are right back in it. With that touchdown run, Jamal Charles has gone over 100 yards for the 4th time in the last 5 games. 86 yards on the touchdown run for Jamal Charles. 11 carries, 134 yards. A.J. Kareem takes the knee 6 yards deep in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. Let's take another look, Steve, at the touchdown run.
Well, you'll watch DeMarco's going to come out, and he's just going to get to the corner. Watch the blocking here, and watch as Baldwin comes all the way across and leads the way as well. Everybody gets into the act. It's just man-on-man blocking by the offensive line. DeMarco gets LaFedge, the safety, and then Charles falls in behind Baldwin. Baldwin escorts him down inside the 25 and then makes the final cutback. Watch the block right there that gets Charles to the edge and allows him to go the distance.
And the Colts still looking to find a rhythm on offense. Andrew Luck with time, lets it go, center of the field. Reggie Wayne with the catch. Finally, he has had a very quiet day.
Well, when you come out after halftime, that first series by both clubs after halftime will give you an idea of where they think their defense they're facing is weak. And both clubs come out and hit a big play right off the bat. Wayne there on the crossing route as he gets back. Looks like his left arm is bothering him. The Chiefs hit an 80-yard touchdown, and then the Colts answer with a big play to Wayne.
Just the second catch of the game for Reggie Wayne. That was good for 33 yards. To the sideline to Avery, who can't bring it in. Incomplete.
Both coaching staffs so good at watching what their opponent is doing and trying to take advantage of it with formation, personnel combinations. And the Colts coming out with Andrew Luck throwing the football. Reggie Wayne looks like he's in some real distress on the sideline.
2nd and 10. Fireworks early here in the second half. Chiefs a formidable opponent today for the Indianapolis Colts as they try to wrap up a wild card spot. Brazil makes the catch close to the 40. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Reggie Wayne comes back into the game. You see there Brazil and like those, they looked on both ends of that pass. It looked like they were rookies. But here's what happened to Reggie Wayne as he goes down, the helmet right on his elbow. As he goes down, it takes a minute to shake that off.
And they rule it an incomplete pass, so it will be 3rd and 10. Ballard in the backfield with Luck. Incomplete. Reggie Wayne, apparently the intended receiver, but that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Luck threw that a little bit early as Reggie Wayne broke out of that route at the top just a little bit slower than Luck wanted to wait on. You see there, he throws it way out ahead of him, and Wayne just can't get to it.
So we see Pat McAfee, who's had a very good year, ready to punt it away from his own 40. End over end punt. Devin Wiley makes the fair catch at the 12-yard line. Tomorrow on CBS. Well, it may be cold outside, but there's one place that is, yes, you guessed it, hot. Hawaii 5-0 tomorrow, only CBS.
It's cold today.
It is chilly. The sun is out, but it is definitely chilly.
I will admit,
and you're
it is cold.
Man from Buffalo, so you understand the true meaning of cold.
And this is cold.
Peyton Hillis has checked in alone in the backfield. 1st and 10. by McCluster. Just short of a first down.
And this Chiefs offense being so productive yardage-wise today so far has really done a nice job finding replacements for guys who have gone down. Now, Dexter McCluster is a dependable back. He has been proven to be a really good offensive player, both out of the backfield as a running back and as a receiver out of the slot. Now they've got Devin Wiley playing along with Baldwin as well. I mean, they've got every man on deck trying to help out of this offense find its rhythm.
2nd and 1. Charles reverses his field. Again in space. Jamal Charles, another huge gain.
This is a great job by the offensive line of the Chiefs, and Jamal Charles comes up and makes the cutback. This is a design cutback. Watches this offensive line. They're going to move out, and they're going to get this backside cut off for Charles to come back and break it back across. DeMarco once again setting the edge and chasing the defensive end down inside to make sure he sets the edge. That opens up an enormous space for Charles.
Held to 10 yards on 9 carries last week, but today 12 carries, 167. McCluster out near another first down.
And they're doing it with the running game on this drive. The reverse there to McCluster. Jamal Charles on the cutback. This Chiefs team, you can feel it. I mean, when the body language changes, the offensive line hops back out of the huddle. This is a team that has been really beset by inconsistency more than lack of good players or lack of talent. They have a hard time keeping one play and stringing good play after good play, and today they're getting it done here in the early going of the second half.
From the Indianapolis 35, that's caught by Baldwin, dropped immediately. Vontae Davis made the stop and had the coverage, and now we've got a marker down. The Colts are back on their heels.
After the runner was down, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 35. After this is to the goal. First down.
Call that on Joe LaFage, and that will be a costly penalty.
Well, Baldwin's going to go down here in the grasp of Vontae Davis, and then LaFage comes in late, and that's a good call. He comes in, kind of leads with his forearm and his helmet, and that's just too late. It's just too late.
So they're spotted inside the 15, close to the 14-yard line, 7 yards on the play, plus 14 yards. That's half the distance to the goal line. Chiefs trail by 3. Win. Intercepted in the end zone by Vontae Davis. John Baldwin, the intended receiver, and that was just underthrown.
And the Kansas City Chiefs fans have had enough. They have seen this the entire season. They want something, anything to cheer for. The Chiefs give them something to hope with in this drive, getting down close. And then, as we saw in the first half, Jamal Charles fumbling it away in the red zone. Now Brady Quinn throwing it right into the arms of Vontae Davis. John Baldwin really not doing enough, in my opinion, to keep that from being intercepted or to try and make a play himself.
This is a Colts team that came in with just 10 turnovers, and they have 3 today. So they take over, 1st and 10 from the 20. Ballard. Swarming Kansas City defense led by Brandon Seiler, the linebacker.
Well, to a man, when I spoke to these guys on Friday, the Chiefs told me, say, listen, we like Romeo Crennel. We like this coaching staff. We asked for Romeo to be given the head coaching job and remove the interim title from which he finished last season, and the Chiefs management did that, and they want him to continue as head coach, but to do it, they're going to have to play better, and today they're showing a great effort in a lost season.
Empty backfield, Luck. Flush from the pocket with some running room. Decides to cut it back and picks up 8 yards on the scramble.
So much has been said, and now, any time you're in a season like this as the Kansas City Chiefs, with 2 wins. Rumors fly about the head coach and how long his tenure is going to last. And in this case, it's even flying even further up the ladder than Romeo Crennel. And he actually had to address it this week in his remarks and saying he's not been told anything about his future. But nevertheless, it always happens in the NFL when a season like this comes down. Things are going to change.
So 3rd and 1 for the Colts. Luck incomplete. T.Y. Hilton was the intended receiver. Came up looking for a flag but won't get one. Colts will have to punt.
Arenas right there. Great job.
Devin Wiley standing back at the Kansas City 20. 13-10 Indianapolis. Wow. Another terrific punt. Fielded out of bounds. So the Kansas City Chiefs offense will go back to work. They trail 13-10, a 54-yard punt. Kansas City Chiefs take over 1st and 10 from their own 19. Their last 3 running plays good for 86, 33, and 10 yards as they have been able to move the football twice as many yards as the Colts. Charles out close to the 25. Pat Anger made the stop. Another big day for the man from Southeast Texas, Jamal Charles.
You get an idea of why he's so explosive, and teams really, he's the focal point of this Chiefs football team. Really on both sides of the football, he's the first name the opponents come to when they go down that list.
16 carries, 173 yards. This is Peyton Hillis. And a nice run out of bounds, close to the 40. And he's had a good day.
Yeah, both runners have. Hill is coming in. You usually bring the small, quick guy in to relieve the big bruiser, but in this case in Kansas City, it's the opposite. Hillis comes in as a big, strong, physical type runner between the tackles, and he gives Charles a break, which is tough for a defense because when you're chasing the fast guy around, all of a sudden then you have to kind of stand strong to stop the big back.
7 carries, 62 yards for Hillis. Now Charles bangs his way out to the 42, 43-yard line.
And this is something that really works in the Chiefs' favor as they're running the football so successfully. Andrew Luck and the Colt offense really can't find any rhythm because they can't get on the football field. They really have a hard time with time of possession as the Chiefs continue to grind it away. And keeping Andrew Luck, the record-setting rookie quarterback, sitting on the bench.
Hillis, the deep back. Cluster in motion. Right side, Hillis tiptoes his way out across the 45 to the 46. Again, Anger on the stop. Started at the Mike linebacker again today with Cavell Connor still out with a hamstring injury.
And this brings up a 3rd down that the Chiefs need in a big way.
3rd and 3.
You can see the difference in yards per rush. Almost 10 yards per rush for the Kansas City Chiefs. What a day they're having.
They'll operate from the shotgun. Charles in the backfield with Brady Quinn. Stays in to block and slips out. Meanwhile, another underthrown ball. And we've got a flag down. Vontae Davis has the interception if the play stands.
This is against the Colts, and the Colts are not happy about it. They think it was a good defensive play, but the officials are going to call pass interference on Davis.
Jamar Newsom was the intended receiver.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. Penalized at the spot of the foul and the 1st down.
And that saves Brady Quinn another bad interception. You see Newsom turns it up, and Davis right there bangs him. past 5 yards. Now that was pass interference, not illegal contact, so I don't know. They were, I don't know. That doesn't seem to me like a good penalty at all.
They spotted at the 30, 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. Trail by 3. Hillis shoved out of bounds. Just inside the 25, a gain of 6. Jarrell Freeman made the stop.
And it continues to roll for the Kansas City Chiefs on 1st and 2nd down. They hand the football to Hillis and they hand the football to Charles, and they're making some headway. And I think it's interesting too, when Hillis is in there, they go single back, and now when Charles is in, they bring DeMarco back in the game as a lead blocker.
Charles the deep back, and he gets it on 2nd down. Left side, Freeman made the stop.
Yeah, Freeman made the stop, all right, man. That was a frustration hit by Jarrell Freeman. He laid it on him pretty good. Watch as Freeman comes from the far side up to meet Charles in the backfield. This is a little frustration. They've been giving up a lot of yards. Freeman right there, and bang, he hits him really well right in the line of scrimmage. That's a linebacker who's been nicked up in the running game and wants a little bit of it back.
3rd and a long 2 for Kansas City. Win from the gun. Here they come with a blitz. And he is sacked. Back at the 30. Dwight Freeney has 106.5 career sacks now to lead all active players.
He just took a hard inside rush on Donald Stevenson. Stevenson, once again, the rookie left tackle, and he's had a rough day so far. He's played okay at times, but he's taken a lot of penalties, and on that play, he got beat hard to the inside.
So Ryan Suckup on to try to tie the game at 13. 47 yards away and got it. And we are all knotted up here at Arrowhead. The Colts had a 3-game winning streak snapped last week in Houston, but came in today looking for a win here in Kansas City to clinch a playoff berth. Just a remarkable turnaround from that 2-14 record a season ago, but the Chiefs have come to play, and we are tied at 13 with 6 minutes left in the 3rd. Suckup after the 47-yard field goal. And Kareem will take a knee 9 yards deep. They'll bring it out to the 20. Andrew Luck and the Colts take the field. Happy holidays to all of you watching at home. And Colts take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. Tied at 13. 10 unanswered points for the Kansas City Chiefs. Luck will throw on 1st down. Underneath. And incomplete. Reggie Wayne was the intended receiver.
Yeah, the Colts really look out of sync offensively. Wayne comes out to play that they completed early in the game, and now come back. Wayne gets both hands on it. Really should have come in with that ball, as Luck puts it just to his outside shoulder. Got both hands on it, and it just went right through.
Chiefs with twice as many total yards as the Colts, 418 to 197. 2nd and 10. Ballard fights his way for extra yards out across the 25 to the 27-yard line, a gain of 7.
Ballard getting some yardage after contact. He's running right up in between, doing a nice job just protecting the football as he gets into traffic, gets both hands on the football, just tries to pinball his way as close as he can to the 1st down marker.
3rd down for Indianapolis, 3rd and 3. Luck from the gun. Stands in. Avery got clobbered. And that'll bring up 4th down.
And there's a flag in the backfield.
Luck was slow getting up.
Foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 56. Leading with a helmet to the chest of the quarterback. 15-yard penalty and a first down.
Derek Johnson
And
called for the late hit.
Well, he said, the official said it was a helmet to the chest of the quarterback. And Ron Winter made the call. And the league has evolved. That is a helmet, leading with the helmet. You can't lead with the helmet like he did. You got to go with the shoulder, and that cost him a first down.
So from the 42, play action for Luck. Lots of time. Floats it out and incomplete. Kobe Fleener was the intended receiver, and again, he was well covered on the play by Brandon Flowers.
Well, Flowers is all over him, as Fleener's he's fast tight end. As you see Flowers staying right with him, they get tangled up, and that's all right as long as they're both looking at the football. And Fleener looks like he was going to pull it in for a moment, but just can't get his hands on it. Flowers all over him in defense. Fleener did a nice job of getting his body right there, but just couldn't make it happen.
So 2nd and 10. Just over 5 minutes to go in the third. Luck under pressure, being chased, and finally steps out of bounds and hit by Flowers.
I think he stayed in bounds. Flowers laid a lick on him, and Luck stayed in bounds and had to take it. That's usually an absolute penalty, particularly with a quarterback, but because Luck had the ball and was moving forward, watch, as he stay in bounds? Yeah, Flowers hits him, but Luck was in bounds just as he reached Flowers.
Meanwhile, there's
Right
a
there.
Kansas City Chief down back at the 30-yard line. That's Tyson Jackson.
Yeah, normally the quarterback gets the benefit of the down that, but because Luck's running, he's got forward. He's a runner with the football. He's not a quarterback at that point. And because he didn't step out of bounds before the contact, I mean, they're not going to get that call.
And you saw Flowers right away pointing to the sideline, indicating that Luck was still in bounds. Timeout on the field here in Kansas City. 3rd and 12 for the Colts after the injury timeout. It's been a dominant day for the Kansas City offense. Luck and Avery, a very catchable ball, but he can't hang on. And the Colts will have to punt, and Luck is 0 for his last 7.
And this is a good enough throw by Luck. Obviously, you'd like to see it up on his top shoulder, but you've got to pull that in if you're Avery. At least it gives him a chance. And you see Luck's arm got hit as he was releasing that football, which is why it probably wasn't as good a throw as it could have been. But Avery's got to pull that in a situation where that team, Indianapolis, needs a big play or at least some play. They couldn't get it.
Punt by McAfee. Short punt. Wiley able to keep his feet. A marker is down, and Wiley brings it out to the 37-yard line. That was a 38-yard punt and a 14-yard return, but we'll check the penalty.
It's a hold on the Chiefs.
During the kick, holding number 96, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Andy Studebaker, they'll march the Chiefs back, and let's check in New York for an update with JB and Shem.
Shannon, RG3 is healthy again.
Yes, his second touchdown pass of the day, JB, 22 yards to Santana Moss. Toe touch, corner of the end zone. 27-13 Redskins, firmly in the number 4 slot.
Bill McAtee, Steve Tasker.
Redskins on the verge. What a turnaround that would be for Washington, obviously led by a dynamic quarterback as well.
It's really not easy to play quarterback in the NFL like these two. I mean, you've got so many young players playing so well, particularly the top 2 guys drafted, Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin III. They're making it look a little too easy.
After the penalty, they spotted at the 13-yard line of the Kansas City Chiefs. Charles out to the 16. Big day for Jamal Charles. 6-yard touchdown run earlier. Now 16 carries for 183. Total yards combined the last 2 weeks, 419. It was abysmal last week against the Raiders, but today they've come alive, 422 yards, but that is only translated to 13 points.
Now they're having a hard time getting the right personnel onto the field. They're going to
Patrick DeMarco was the straggler, and they're forced to use a timeout.
Yeah, because of the play clock.
Well, your favorite superstar performers honor acting legend Dustin Hoffman, king of late night David Letterman, and one of the greatest rock bands of all time, Led Zeppelin. The Kennedy Center honors Wednesday, only CBS.
Charles at the 40, at the 30-yard line, another downfield.
Take a look as they try to get set.
And it's funny because when you get in there, you don't have to count. When you step down into the huddle, you've been in there a million times. Somebody's missing. And they all knew it.
Quarterback comparison. A couple of interceptions for Brady Quinn, including one return for a touchdown. Hillis up the middle and out across the 20, close to the 22. Anger again on the stop.
This Chiefs team, if they could play like this every week and run the football this effectively, everything would get better. Now the turnovers are still an issue. Brady Quinn with a couple of touchdowns, one interception, with a couple of interceptions, one interception too that was called back and didn't count. So they've got to get their quarterback position straightened out and stop turning the football over. But with a running game like this and a defense playing like it is,
Easy, alert, alert.
you wonder how a team gets into the hole that the Chiefs are in.
Charles, nice hole. Jamal Charles bursts free, and another big gain out to midfield.
Yeah, and you can tell now the Colt defenders are starting to look around like what's going on here, and it's nothing but Jamal Charles and that offensive line of the Chiefs getting it done. Watch right out front as those guys get to the second level, and once again DeMarco steps into Freeman and gets the key block. The lead blocker today for the Chiefs has been outstanding.
And Jamal Charles has gone over 200 yards now, 17 carries for 209.
Patrick DeMarco has been a difference maker for the Chiefs today, and he doesn't have a carry.
His third career 200-yard game. Play action for Quinn. And has to sling it out of bounds. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Look at. And he's 6'1", 234. Now he's starting because he's going to cover for Tony Moriarty, who is not in the game today. So this guy's role was expanded today, and what a job he has done.
Steve, he was activated a couple of weeks ago from the practice squad before the game against Carolina. He ended up starting at fullback and went on to play 38 snaps. And whistle before the snap. It'll be against Kansas City.
Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Jeff Allen, the rookie left guard. 2nd round pick out of Illinois.
Yeah, you got a rookie left guard, rookie left tackle. But you'll watch, I mean, you can't miss it.
That was not a flinch.
Yeah, that was
Second,
more than
2nd and 15. Quinn. Now on the move. Lowers his shoulder and dives forward to the 46-yard line. Jerry Hughes made the stop. Gain of a couple.
Yeah, and that so often happens. Sooner or later, you've got to make a play in the passing game. And if you've been throwing it the entire game, sooner or later, you're going to have to make a play in the running game. And as of now, the Chiefs have yet to make a play in this half by throwing the football. And sooner or later, the game is going to hinge on their ability to do that.
Sean Drone is checked in the backfield with Quinn. They run the slant, and that's incomplete. Newsome had it and dropped it. That would have been a first down.
And both clubs now having trouble on both ends of the throw.
City.
Quinn puts that right on his number, and he got to pull that in.
So T.Y. Hilton back deep, dangerous. Had a 75-yard return for a touchdown last month against Buffalo. Colquitt's punt. Fair catch signal, lets it go. Takes a Kansas City bounce and is down inside the 10. .43-yard punt Wednesday in prime time. JB, Phil Simms, and Chris Collinsworth showcase America's favorite game with their own unique style inside the NFL Wednesday on Showtime. So the Colts will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 11, and Jamal Charles against the Indianapolis offense. Charles winning 213 to 202. Colts really struggled offensively the last 2 weeks against Tennessee and then against that terrific defense of the Houston Texans. Luck. And that was a big hit on the pass intended for T.Y. Hilton. Brandon Flowers separated Hilton from the football.
Well, this Chiefs defense has been playing from behind for so long this season. It must feel really good to be deep into the second half and be tied with a good football team. This defense has been playing hard and playing well for most of the season, but they've been put in bad spots time and again by their offense.
And that's what the Colts told us when we visited with the players yesterday. The record may be 2-12, but that is not a 2-12 defense. And the Chiefs have played well on the defensive side of the football today. Batted away, Reggie Wayne, the intended receiver, and nice coverage by Eric Berry.
Oh, that was tremendous job by Eric Berry all over Reggie Wayne, and a great throw by Luck as well. He put it over the top, but look at Berry, just gets his hand up right into the throwing lane. Right at the last moment, Reggie Wayne is counting this as a reception, I'm telling you right now, and Berry just gets there in the nick of time. Great throw by Luck, even better defense by Berry.
And the Colts in their last 10 pass plays have 9 incompletions and have given up a sack. 3rd and 10, empty backfield. Luck avoids the first wave, trying to find some running room, and brought down. And again, the Kansas City defense answers the call. Tamba Hali with the tackle.
Yeah, and that's why you look at this Chiefs team as you watch him chase Andrew Luck. This is great job because he steps away from the pressure and still has no place to throw to. And the Chiefs' pursuit gets to him finally. But this is a team where the fans here in Kansas City are saying, man, just a little bit of quarterback play, a little bit of a passing game, and our team would be totally different, and so would our record.
McAfee from near the goal line. Wiley fields it and loses ground. Nowhere to go. Good special teams coverage by the Colts on the punt. 48-yard punt and a negative return of 9 yards. Surest way to the postseason for the Colts is to win here, but they can also wrap up a spot in the playoffs if Pittsburgh loses, and there's a variety of things that can happen that third qualifying, but the easiest way is to win this game today against the Chiefs.
Pittsburgh right now is tied with Cincinnati, as you see there, 10-10, so there's, it's a coin flip. It's tied here today, 13-13. It's tied in Cincinnati or at Pittsburgh. So this game is all what it's all about for this Colts team. Win it to get in it.
Chiefs with more than twice as many total yards. Much of it from that man, Jamal Charles. Wrestled down at around the 30. Jamal Charles, after a tough week last week against the Raiders, just 10 yards on 9 carries, but brilliant today. 18 carries for 212 yards. Nearing the end of the third quarter. So we will end 3 periods, tied at 13, and we'll return to Kansas City after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL. Put up the most rushing yards in the NFL this season, 315, and we still have a quarter to play.
Jamal Charles and Peyton Hillis really getting it done along with that offensive line, and the Colts really have had no answer, even with the fact that the Chiefs have not been able to throw the football.
Hillis, stiff arm, and battles his way close to the first down marker. Cassius Vaughn finally drove him out of bounds. Tough running from Peyton Hillis.
Well, we talked about him being a change-up back. Watch this as he puts the stiff arm out and kind of electrocutes Cassius Vaughn. I mean, that's a taser gun of a stiff arm.
LaFage came over to help out. And now that's 81 yards for Hillis, 213 for Charles. And we have an official timeout on the field just underway here in the fourth quarter. We're tied at 13. It was an official timeout because of an injury to one of the officials. Scott Steenson, the field judge, was upended on the play. You can see it over on the left side.
Lawrence Guy gets pushed back, and Steenson takes the header into the white paint.
And then movement before the snap.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Yeah, of all the things that have happened to that offensive line, Eric Winston, that's the first false move he's made all day. And you watch it. This is a moment ago. You see what gets both legs taken out. He takes the header, eh?
Tell you what, that was a fairly agile landing, though. First and 15, Jamal Charles fights his way out to the 38-yard line, and Lawrence Guy made the stop. Signed off Green Bay's practice squad October 17th. Originally a 7th-round pick by the Packers in 2011. So 2nd and 9 for Kansas City. 219 yards. Jamal Charles holds the 1st and 2nd spots.
He's a pretty good Kansas City Chiefs, that guy.
Put up great numbers. McCluster got it. Close to the first down marker, and they're going to give it to him by a yard.
Yeah, and that's big for the Chiefs offense. From the wide receiver spot, McCluster, quick out, then a quick up, and the snap out again. The double move out, and he gets himself to extend for that first down. That's huge, overcoming a 1st and 15 for the Chiefs offense to keep the drive alive.
21 first downs for Kansas City, only 9 for the Colts. Charles tripped up at midfield.
I'll tell you what, the Colt defense, as soon as Brady Quinn turns and looks at Jamal Charles, they are all diving at the line of scrimmage to stop that run game. Watch as he gets this ball, everybody, and you're going to see the pursuit come from the secondary as well. Every defender just runs straight toward Jamal Charles. They know what a great day he's having.
Now it's Peyton Hillis with a big hole left side. And another first down for the Chiefs. LaFage made the stop. 15 yards on the play.
Well, you'll watch as the offensive line is going to push this right here and set that edge, and Hillis is going to go right in, and once again, our guy Patrick DeMarco gets the linebacker off his feet and gives Hillis the edge of the defense.
And now Peyton Hillis is close to 100 yards, 12 carries for 98. He stays in the game. They give it to him, Hillis. And that should put him over 100. fights his way down to the 30-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, this at Arrowhead here, they've still got natural grass. It's in great shape, although it's a little bit frozen today. And when these two teams walk off the field, it's going to look like every player got dragged behind a truck. This has been a dogfight. As you look there, first time having two 100-yard rushers in a game since 1991 versus a team I was on.
Don't take that personally,
that stinks.
Jamal Charles.
That was a long time ago, 1991.
Down to the 27-yard line. Slow getting up.
And Charles is slow getting up. He doesn't look all together in one piece. Looked like he was holding his right arm a little bit.
21 carries for now 224 yards. What a day it's been for Jamal Charles.
You got, as you see, as we told you, he'll stick his shoulder in there.
Got banged up a couple of weeks ago against Cleveland. So Peyton Hillis back to work. On third down, Jerry Hughes made the stop.
Third and about a yard and a half.
It's all going to depend on the spot.
It's going to be close. Very close.
So they'll take a timeout to measure.
The Colts get good penetration. You see right there, they get him in the backfield, but he keeps his balance to the line of scrimmage, and that, if they give him this first down, this might be a moment when Bruce Arians throws the challenge flag to get a more accurate spot, although they're short.
About a foot short.
And this will be about a 44-yard field goal attempt. And there it looks like they're going to try and go for it. And why not? Hillis stays in the game, along with DeMarco, the lead blocker, who's had such a great day.
352 rushing yards for Kansas City, over 500 in total offense.
I'll tell you what, this is a point when you don't get cute. You are crushing the Colt defense with your run game. Hand it off again to get the first down.
Power I formation.
Took it with a quarterback sneak to try and get a little bit of a sense of surprise.
Chiefs say they have it.
The Chiefs think they've got it. The officials have not signaled yet. It didn't. If he did get it, he did not get it by much.
Surprising they didn't hand the football off.
The quarterback sneak. Some quarterbacks run the sneak very well. Others, it seems like it's a struggle. That didn't go very well for the Chiefs, although they still might have picked up the first down. And the quarterback just disappears down, and boy, it doesn't look like he got it. DeMarco jumps in, trying to help out.
Going behind Ryan Lilja, the former Colt, who started 2 Super Bowls for Indianapolis in 06 and 09, and a nice defensive stand by the Colts. And so Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis offense will take the field. Tied at 13. The defense has done its job making the stop for Indianapolis. Colts take over on downs from their own 26-yard line. Rough second half for Andrew Luck. He'll throw on first down, and that is incomplete. Kobe Fleener, the intended receiver.
Now, that was a bad throw by Luck, right into the dirt, without any pressure on him. Look at that difference in the first half and the second half. 1 of 11 for 33 yards. That one was, he was 1 for 1 at one point for 33 yards, and now he's missed his last 10.
And there's a sack in there as well, 2nd and 10. Ballard up the middle. Now to the 33, Justin Houston made the stop.
I think the critical thing now for the Indianapolis Colts, they've got to hang on to this football. The Chiefs have got a lot of momentum offensively. The Colts have not been able to put it together. Their quarterback is struggling. As good as he's been as a rookie, they've got to help him out. They've got to get some first downs, give him some completions that'll get his rhythm back underneath him, and give him something to build on to put a drive together and put points on the football.
507 total yards, Steve, for Kansas City, 213 for Indianapolis, and yet they're tied. 3rd and 3. T.Y. Hilton with a big play for the Colts.
And there's a nice start for the Colts to get back on track.
11 yards and a first down.
Good protection. The Chiefs bring 5 guys. And Luck stands in the pocket, hits Hilton quickly with the out route.
Good strikeout to Avery. Flowers read it and made the stop immediately.
And Avery's
slow getting up. And a little woozy.
Yeah, I think that got the wind knocked out. He got hit in the back. As Flowers came up and put a nice hit on him. He got caught in the air. That's the last place you want to be as a receiver, with your arms up in the air trying to catch it with your ribs exposed. And Flowers takes full advantage of that vulnerability. And now there's a timeout.
And now it's Flowers who has to take a knee. Medical staff of the Chiefs out on the field in a hurry, and now Avery will walk over to the Colts sideline.
We'll see what happens as he comes up. He kind of hit him with the head shoulder and right away didn't seem to bother Flowers very much. And that's the strange thing about this game. You can see guys hit and be hit 100 times over, and then a hit that looks like every other one seems to do injury.
So neither player came out of that exchange very good. Flowers, who's had a solid game. And so 2nd and 11 for Indianapolis. Colts without a touchdown on offense. Their lone touchdown came on an interception return. Reggie Wayne in space, then out of bounds into Kansas City territory.
Well, they got away with the hold. Anthony Costanzo, the left tackle, came out and led this screen. Watch right here. He's going to grab a collar right there and just pull down Hartman, who's going to come in and try and make the tackle.
Ballard, little hesitation move, and he fights his way for another Indianapolis first down. Tyson Hartman made the stop.
Indianapolis picking up the pace, going no huddle. A lot of teams will do this when they're struggling offensively because it takes the starch out of the defense. If you can get a first down, those big, heavy guys up front for the defensive line can't stay with it. They start to get winded.
Ballard. Good penetration by Hartman and a loss on the play.
Yeah, that time it wasn't a D lineman, it was Hartman who came through. He got held on the screen pass a moment ago. Then made this his 2nd tackle in a row. Right through. The Chiefs call a blitz as Hartman goes right into the backfield and gets there before he can be picked up by anybody.
Tyson Hartman, the rookie free agent out of Kansas State, and he's played well this year. 2nd and 12 after the loss. Chiefs come on the blitz. Luck out to Reggie Wayne.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a hair's breadth from being a touchdown. And Reggie Wayne, when things go bad, Andrew Luck always seems to look towards 87. We said in the open of this game, Reggie Wayne has really been the guy offensively who has taken the young players on this team under his wing and told them how to work and how to get better.
And they've been picking on Nico Thorpe, who came in for Brandon Flowers. Ballard Marker down on the other side of the field. No gain. Again, it's Hartman on the stop.
Oh, and this is going to be against the Chiefs. It's going to be encroachment. Somebody lined up in the neutral zone.
Offside. Defense number 75, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Toi Tua, the defensive end.
Right, I mean, oh yeah, that's just not even close. And that's a mistake at a time when the Chiefs can ill afford it.
So 1st and 5 after the penalty. Just under 6.5 minutes left to go in regulation. Ballard tries to find some running room, lowers his shoulder and down inside the 10. Dontari Poe made the stop.
Well, we've talked about how good this Chiefs defense has been. One place where they've been extremely good is in the red zone. The Colts understand when they watch these guys on film, and you think back to a week ago when the Oakland Raiders beat the Chiefs, they did it with 5 field goals. They could not get in the end zone against this Chiefs defense. And the Colts knew coming in that if they got opportunities down here, they had to capitalize or it would not go well for them.
High formation on 2nd and short. Luck goes underneath to Fleener, who makes the catch close to the first down.
Yeah, they're going to spot him past the first down marker. Now watch, everybody's packed in around the football. Then as they explode out of there, everybody crosses the formation. The receivers come out. Fleener comes from the other side of the formation across. The Colts trying to get the Chiefs confused or lost in the traffic as all the offensive receivers cross the formation.
Good enough for a first down, so 1st and goal. Ballard upended by the swarming Kansas City defense led by Javier Arenas.
Yeah, these defensive backs for the Chiefs really tackle well. And one reason is because the big guys up front, Tamba Hali, Fatua Toa, Derek Johnson, they all use up the blockers of the Colts and do not let them get to that second level. There always seems to be a free Chief running to the football and getting penetration with an open lane to make the tackle.
2nd and goal. Hilton in motion. They give it to him. He reverses his field. He was going to try to throw it. And finally does, and incomplete. Intended for Donnie Avery. So a little bit of trickery from the Colts, and Avery slow getting up.
Yeah, Justin Houston tipped that football when he threw it. Now there's no question this is a design play as Hilton turns around. Then it looks like he's going to throw it, and as he does, Justin Houston gets a piece of it. He throws it, and Houston gets a pass defense, and then he follows through and makes T.Y. Hilton pay for that.
3rd and goal, 13th play of the drive coming. Tied at 13, just over 4 minutes left to go in the 4th.
Timeout.
And the Colts want to talk it over.
Timeout. Kansas City. Their second.
So timeout on the field, 4:12 left to go in regulation. 3rd and goal for the Colts, who have been pretty good in close ball games, Steve, this season.
8-1 in games decided by 7 points or less, and after a bad 3rd quarter going 1 of 11, Andrew Luck is now 5 of 6 in the 4th quarter.
For 42 yards from the 7. Luck, back of the end zone, Reggie Wayne, touchdown.
We said it in the open. Andrew Luck has had a little bit of a roller coaster of a year. He's put up all those yards, set the rookie record, and yet in games that were close and in big moments, Andrew Luck has come through time and again. Hitting Reggie Wayne here in the back of the end zone, right on the money. Great catch by Wayne. Well executed by the Colts.
So Adam Vinatieri want to try the extra point and make it a 20-13 Indianapolis lead. They win, and they are in the postseason. Colts offense finds the end zone for the first time this afternoon. Reggie Wayne. Well, no gifts for the Chiefs. Reggie Wayne with the touchdown, 13 plays, 73 yards on the drive after Kansas City failed on a quarterback sneak deep in Colts territory. Andrew Luck again stepping up in the fourth quarter, 6 of 7 on that drive, including the touchdown pass. And Reggie Wayne, by the way, over 100 receptions for the fourth time, only the 5th player in NFL history to accomplish that. 5 catches for 81 yards for Reggie Wayne. Wiley will bring it out. And dropped at the 10. Levon Brazil made the tackle, and Steve, let's take another look at the touchdown.
Well, look at the bunch as they come out, and they're going to get confused in the secondary. They've got to sort through all these receivers, and the receivers, Reggie Wayne, Hilton, they come out with such velocity, and the ball has such speed on it. One false step, and it ends up that Eric Berry is the last guy with an opportunity at it. He takes one false step at the top of Reggie Wayne's route, and the ball is thrown so hard by Luck. And I mean, it's impossible to defend at that point.
Reggie Wayne, in his 12th season, came in 4th in the NFL in receiving, just continues to play at a remarkable level. 4:03 left to go in the 4th. Chiefs 90 yards away. Short drop. Quick out, incomplete. And Neri was the intended receiver there. And coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest scores and highlights from around the National Football League. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Clock stops right at 4 minutes remaining. 2nd and 10. Charles cuts it back, gets it out close to the 12. LaFeche and Freeman combined to make the stop.
And as well as the Chiefs have played running the football, both with Charles and with Hillis, now with 3:43 to go, 90 yards or 89 yards to go to tie this game up with a touchdown. Now they're forced to throw the football, and as we said earlier on, sooner or later they're going to have to make some plays in that side of their offense to win this football game, and now it falls the pressure squarely on Brady Quinn.
Chiefs 2 of 9 in third down conversions, facing a 3rd and 8 here. Keep it on the ground, Hillis. And there was just nothing there. Jerry Hughes made the stop.
And on a 3rd and 11, the Colts just did not believe that the Chiefs would run the football. They brought a lot of people across the line of scrimmage. Foku, everybody jumps into this fray. And Hillis has really no chance to get anything going.
And on top of everything else, the Colts should come away from this with very good field position. Colquitt from his own end zone. T.Y. Hilton makes the fair catch, fielding it at the 37. A 52-yard punt.
56-yard punt, no return.
Again, a look at the AFC playoff picture. Houston, chance to capture home field advantage through the AFC playoffs. Denver, New England already have won their divisions. Baltimore is in. Have a chance later today to capture the AFC North. And Indianapolis controls their own destiny. A win today, if they hang on, they are in the postseason.
Houston lost today, so they are in jeopardy of having to go on the road for the playoffs.
1st and 10. Indianapolis looking to take some time off the clock. Ballard Nothing there. Driven back with 2:25 left to go in the fourth. Chiefs take a timeout.
That's the other score that concerns the Colts. If the Bengals can beat Pittsburgh, it doesn't matter what the Colts do today in Kansas City. Obviously, if the Colts win, they're in, which is the best way for them to do it. But they can get in the playoffs if Cincinnati wins as well.
Colts expected to have Chuck Pagano back starting tomorrow, back to take over his head coaching duties at the morning meeting tomorrow. He has been cleared by his doctors. The cancer in remission since early November. Completed his third round of chemotherapy on December 5th. He has really been an emotional rallying point, not only for the team, but for a lot of the city of Indianapolis. Tomorrow expected to be a very emotional day for the Colts. Ballard.
And I'll tell you, what a gift it would be for a coach like Chuck Pagano to come back to a team that started and then come back to a playoff berth to end the season.
Kansas City takes another timeout. Two teams in NFL history have made the playoffs after losing 14 or more games. 82, New England with their infamous snowplow victory over the Dolphins. And then it was the Dolphins in 08, led by Chad Pennington and Wildcat running backs Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams. They went 11-5 after 1-15.
Timeouts.
Kansas City with no timeouts remaining.
On the 37-yard line, it's third down.
Colts facing 3rd and 10. Luck from the shotgun. Ballard able to turn the corner and keep his feet and get a first down. And Kansas City cannot stop the clock. And that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. Big first down for Indianapolis, who could be on the way to the postseason. And we're back celebrating and doing a little Gangnam Style on the Colts sideline. Bruce Arians. Kansas City out of timeouts.
And out of time, because now with 2-minute warning and a first down, the Colts can kneel down, and that's what happens when you're an interim head coach and you take your team to a playoff berth. And tomorrow you don't have the pressure of the head coaching job. You can give it back to Chuck Pagano.
He'll go back and just be the offensive coordinator. So a 13-yard run on 3rd and 10 ices the game for Indianapolis.
Bruce Arians may not be an offensive coordinator for very much longer. You talk about being an interview in the interview process for a head coach. He just completed a 3-month interview process and he aced.
And the woes continue for the Kansas City Chiefs. They will drop to 2 and 13. Indianapolis will go to 10 and 5. And some history made today by Andrew Luck. Most passing yards by a rookie in the National Football League. And it now belongs to Andrew Luck. And coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest scores and highlights from Week 16. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. So this will be the final play. And that will do it. The Indianapolis Colts are headed to the postseason after a year where they had the #1 pick and finished 2 and 14. They will win today here at Arrowhead, 20-13 over the Kansas City Chiefs. Romeo Crennel, Bruce Arians.
And what a day it'll be tomorrow in Indianapolis as Chuck Pagano, barring anything unforeseen, comes back to the Indianapolis Colts.
20-13, Indianapolis. For Steve Tasker, this is Bill McAtee saying so long from Kansas City. Time now for the Subway postgame show. Let's go to James Brown in New York.